Alright, everybody. This is Mark with High Cross Cattle. We're going to do something a little bit different today and actually show y'all a little bit of walkthrough on 701X. I know you guys have heard me talk about them and some of this stuff, but we're actually going to do a little bit of walking through. Now, I have tried to use a better web camera, but my program's not letting me do it, so we're going to use the one that comes on the computer. So, on your 701X desktop version or the standard app you can get on your phone or your iPad or whatever device you want to use, this is going to be the screen that you come to out the gate. As you can see, it tells you your subscription type. I have 10 cattle available, 9 actually being used, so I've got one more here that I can assign and use for this program for what I have. I have one pro tag, and I have already assigned it. It is not on Manny yet. I have one, and I have one ahead and already assigned it so that when I go to work, cows probably here next month or month after, hopefully, get everybody's tags swapped over. I can put that on there. I can go buy more tags. Now you have the option to select different ranches if you're the kind of person that if you're a ranch manager or you kind of keep a look over a couple different ranches, you can add them here. Or at one point, I had cows that were still at another guy's facility. I could come in here and create that ranch. Right, so you just zoom in on your map here. Yeah, see, I gotta update them. They were listed over here, and this is what you'll see too when you're looking at your map on your device and you create your fences. So I have our grazing field here that they're going to be going on this spring. I've got that labeled as the west field. I have my laneway marked that's going to connect the two fields. I've got our facility here marked, the backyard, because the cows were in the backyard for a little bit, and it might be an option that they'll be back there again just to keep the grass trimmed down. And then the east lot, which they're in right now. But as you can see, B1, that's Manny, bull number 1. Bull number 2 is Pancake, Highland 1, Highland 2. So those are both Highland cows. By just numerical values, those are my beef cows. Now, the reason this is important to see this screen, and as you see here, Manny's got that little pro tag icon on it. So once I get the light tags put on the others, so my heifers and my yearlings and whatnot, they will actually check in and register and basically use Manny's pro tag as kind of a single point and reference within a certain span to let me know, and Manny's tag will actually let me know if he's outside of what I have marked as the fence. You've heard me talk about it. The reason that's beneficial to a guy like me is this is not something that I do full time at the current moment. I would love to be able to get to the point where I could, but at the current moment I don't, and that's fine. This program allows me the peace of mind and ability to know where my cows are at, if they're where they're supposed to be, right? So with the light tags, if Manny gets out, Mama gets out. Mama gets out, Manny gets out. Those two stick together, the calves and everything. They might follow them if by chance, there's something like a hole in the fence or something like that. But usually Mama and Manny are pretty thick as thieves and they'll follow each other. If one's out, the other one's going to follow. But the reason that's important is, say Manny gets out, as soon as he crosses this threshold, I'm going to get a notification on my phone that tells me that I have a bull out or that I have a cow out. It's going to tell me his number, the tag, and everything, and I'm going to be able to see where he's at on this map. And if Mama gets out with him, she's going to have a light tag, and it will not be a dead pinpoint on as to her specific location. I think when I was talking with Sam, oh, there's a foot range that it automatically pings in because it's using Bluetooth to connect to Manny's tag. So there is some limitation there, but it's still useful. I think at one point when I was originally talking to Sam about how to run this, he said it's best recommended one pro tag for every 10 light tags. That gives you the ability to uh, keep a good reference point for them. But what this also allows me to do is it's going to show me Manny's tracking pattern. And if I had, oh, if I had it on here, I would be able to better tell you. Uh, anyway, I'd better be able to tell you how it was tracking, and it'll track his movement, his steps, and whatnot, and that'll give me a good health record to let me know he's doing what he's supposed to be doing, right? So he's made contact with H1 6 times in one day, and this cow, and this cow. That lets me know he's doing his job. But it will also let me know where he got out on that fence. So instead of now, obviously I don't have a lot of fence here, even in this area over here. It's about a little over 12 acres, I think. But it's nothing astronomical. But if you're a guy that has several thousand acres that you're running cows on, and you get a cow out, there's a good chance that you'll find that spot. But having the ability to see where he was moving and how he was moving and where he went through is going to be huge because you're not actually having to hunt that spot down. You can go straight to it and say, oh, yep, I see he went out right through here and walked his way through and got into my neighbor's field and just went absolutely crazy on here. Uh, so that's kind of the biggest thing for me as a small time operator, and even if I get to the point where I'd like to be with a big time, large scale operation, I will still be utilizing this because it makes it so much easier to track where the cows are at and what they're doing. So it's it's really beneficial. So what we can do here is, as you saw at the bottom of the screen, I have uh, some options here. I have a go-to, filters, my layers. I can turn off my fence layer, but I like to have that on. I can turn off the company. It just kind of whatever you're thinking. Filter out the information that you're seeing. You can go to a specific ranch. If I wanted to, I could select an animal, type B, B1. See, it took me straight to Manny. So if you needed to know where a specific cow was and they had a pro tag or light tag, it's going to take you to where their last pinned location was. Obviously, mine don't have the tags yet. Like I said, that will be happening when they come getting worked through uh, this coming spring. So that will be more useful then. If you decide to get this technology and work with these guys, they're a great group of people. Sam has been amazing to deal with and talk to. He's always there to answer my questions if I have anything. Um, it's definitely worth, if you're not sold on it, or if you're not looking really at the moment for this type of technology, reach out to the guys. Go to their website, 701x.com, schedule a phone call or anything to talk with them. and let them talk you through this. And, if I can't convince you, let them talk to you about it. Uh, they don't try and push you. I did the 14-day trial, or I think it was 14 days, or maybe a little bit more. I did the trial on this just to kind of see, what it really was. And towards the end of my trial, Sam actually reached out to me and was like, "Hey, what are you thinking? What do you like? What do you don't like?" Which is huge. The customer service there is by far unmatched as far as I'm concerned. Um, but back on this map here, we can go to our tools, and we actually have uh, some features that we can use. We can put in a new point of interest. So, say I have a bale of hay out here, and I want to know how many times people are checking in with this. I can put a new point of interest, and when they go there, it's going to track it. I can update animals. I can track the herd's movement, right? So not enough tracking data to display because my tag isn't moving. It's sitting in our veterinary box waiting to get slapped onto Manny's ear. As calm and docile as he is, I'm not going to test out our friendship and slap a tag on him just free out in the open. It's not what I'm going for in life. So that's kind of the overview of the map function here. You create these boundaries. This isn't something that it just, I know a lot of guys use onX maps for tracking who owns what property if you're a hunter, or if you're like me as a field technician for John Deere, actually use it to make sure I'm at the right customer's place. Uh, so you will map this out if you need to make a different shape. So you can see here my laneway. Obviously, that's not going to pop up on anything. That's handmade. That's going to walk from here to here. Do I need to track them through that? No, because I'm going to be walking with them from here to here. That's not going to be a free open pass there for them to just go crazy on. So some of the things we can do, we come to our dashboard, and all of this is going to be on your app. So what you're seeing here is what you're going to be looking at. You can select the different ranches. I obviously only have ours. It shows us the total number of cows, how many of them are heifers, or heifer calves, heifer yearlings, bulls, and how much it comprises your herd. So obviously, I am 55% heifer calves. That's if you're working with your FSA office, or your insurance company, you can track all of that. If you need to add a cow to the watch list, say you've got one with a bum foot, or they've got something going on, you want to keep an eye on them, you put them on here. You can add the reason, the date that they were added. It's going to track all of this for you so that you have a continuous record of this information. Uh, you can add the total numbers of cows in cycle, cows in calving, total inseminated. I do not have two cows that have been inseminated. I have been tinkering around with the app and the desktop version, becoming a little bit more familiar with this, and that's mainly because I'm fairly new to not fairly new. I am new to running a cattle operation. I have worked cows and I've worked for people that had cows, but I have never owned my own cows. So a lot of this is just figuring out some of that as a knowledge base. But you can see here on my breeding report, this tracks how many bulls I have turned out. I have one and one fence. The number of cows and heifers I have exposed to that bull. As you can see here, I have two. From there, I can also track whether it has been an embryo transfer, AI, both exposed, and then when I go to preg check, I will go here and I'll show you on the list here in a minute. I can track when they've been preg checked, and then I can write down whether they took, whether they're late, whether they're open, and then it's going to track all of this information. To you kind of got like a little family tree here, and then you're tracking your information. You can kind of see the trend here. Good stuff is green, right? So you want cows and heifers with a bull. You want them turned out. You want them exposed, AI'd, whatever. You want them checked. You want them to take. You want them to calve. If not, you can use this, as it says, as your breeding report for the year. You have a cow that was open and late or late. You can determine whether you want to select her as a cull cow. Or if you have all these ladies exposed and your bull does bupkis, he is now a cull bull. Like I said, this says close to calving. This is just me tinkering around. If you go and you give your vaccines and you have something that requires a booster, you can use it. This will track that and quick reference it and show you how many you have coming up on a booster, show your cattle number, the medication that needs it, the days and the date. If you give a vaccination that requires a withdrawal period, you will track all of this. And this is all on the dashboard. You can add and move around and change some of this stuff. You can create reports, animal inventory, come in here, so working cattle list. So as you can see, one of the activities I did back on the 22nd of January was assign my 701X tag. That's my pro tag. That was assigned to Manny on that date. My vaccine records. I can add my cows here. I can export this information if I need to. Logs, notes. Open up my station here. Cattle number. Let's go. Bull number 2. So what did I do? I have this manually put in. You can create a new list. I'm actually going to get with my local vet here. I need to get with him next week to see what I need to give for my spring rounds. But anyway, we're just going to say 7-way. And when I add that medication in there, I can actually, let's see, create new medication. There we go. So we're just going to create this. We'll create one just for the sake of doing one. You can put, if you run implants or if you're running a treatment, dewormer, we're going to put a vaccine. Vaccine name is going to be, we'll call it cause. You can add a description of it. So if you want to track what it's for is like a all around. And this is for your tracking so that you know what works, what doesn't work, and anything like that. You can track the manufacturer, you can put them in there. That's customizable information. The serial number of the bottle, the lot number, the expiration date, if there's any withdrawal days, booster days, the route. This gives you several different options if you're running a Poron or an intermuscular. Any of these options, it gives it to you, and you're going to put it in here. The location, where did you give it? Elbow pocket, upper neck. So most guys are going to be upper neck left. That's usually where I'm going to put mine. I don't have a bottle in front of me to know whether I have any withdrawal days or if there's any booster days required. Unit of measurement. What are you spreading it at? What are you injecting it in? Pouring it on as. So we're going to go cubic centimeters. So this adjusts your inventory, whether it's positive or negative, the adjusted quantity. How many cc's? Let's say 5 cc's. Units of measurement. The cost, if you want to break it down for cost, you would just save this, right? So now you can see here, I have 2 different ones of these. So say bull number 2 or pancake receive 7-way. I mark my 7-way. Put my dosage. It shows it's already as an intermuscular. It's automatically going to populate that information, the administered date, and this is going to live track all of this. You notice I did not put this date in, it just automatically put it in there. It will fill this information out if it's in there. What I do, save it. And what I'll do again, station 1, H1, 7A. Save. So we can go back and close out of all this. I don't have a folder. Anyway, if I'd have done it right, I don't think I did it right. Station 1, F1, treatment, 7-way, dosage, 7. Oh, there we go. I knew I was doing it wrong. So, as you can see here, it tracks all of this information, the date and time that it was put in. I can delete this information too. So I'll go through and delete all these because obviously I have not administered vaccinations yet. So this will allow you to track it, the weights, temperatures, if you're running through the chute and running those checks. Your side menu over here is going to show you your animal list. One thing I can say, and I talked with Sam to make sure I'm not going to get in trouble for saying it. So I'm actually I'm testing out the beta version of the app, and the layout is a little bit different, not in a bad way. This app is already very user friendly on your phone and on your iPad, on basically all of your mobile devices. The new version that they are currently working on and polishing out all the bugs with is even easier. If I had a way to record that and show it to you, I would, but I don't. I am not tech savvy enough to figure that out. So we got our breeding list, our bull turnouts. As you can see, breeding season, you can give it a name. Semen tanks, if you have specimen tanks on your operation. Tank name, canister number, straw information. Yeah, so you can track all of this information. The adjusted quantity, the cost per stick. So you really can track pretty much everything on here. You've got some ranch tools. Do a roll call. Trying to remember. Sam was walking me through this, and I had something come up and I had to get off the phone with him. But you can do a roll call on your cows, and it kind of gives you the information. Medications. You can track all the medication that you give on here. These are going to stay in the system so that when you go to work them and you need to add them, like say you're given that round of vaccination to any of the animals, it's already saved in here, and you can you have this log of what you were given, the serial number. So obviously, if you're running several hundred head of cattle, your serial number is going to change, your lot number is going to change. Uh, but it's good to have that information in there so that if there's ever a recall on that lot number or anything like that of that vaccination, you have that available. Outgoing transfers, if you're moving them from one ranch to a different guy, or if, like I said, you're running a big time operation and they're going from one spot to another, uh, you can do that. Incoming, your fences, point of interest. You can come on here and you got your tag list. So I just have the one tag. I go into my account or your account here and you can update your subscription info, your profile, your finances or financials. Uh, this is something I mentioned in my last video. So you can come in here and track your sales and income or your purchases and expenses. And this is good. I know my FSA guy wants to make sure that our financials are kept up to date and what's going where so that we know. You can use this to keep track of all of that information. Contacts, you know, you got your phone, you probably got your contacts in there, but if you needed to set up any of that information, you can come in here and do that. Address, you've got a website, the name, if they're a different organization. So like one of the local organizations we have here is Pruitt Land Cattle, or the buddy that I bought my Baldies from is Impartee. Yeah, so there's a lot of good information here that you can keep track of. And I talked with a buddy of mine, and he said this compared to what he's currently using seems 100 times easier to navigate. He said that what he's using now, you almost feel like you almost have to go through a class to know how to use it. And what I'm doing right now is not giving you a class on how to use this. This is just me showing you some of the features with it. And like I said, this is my first go around with actually owning cows and running them myself. So if I've been able to figure this out and see what all this stuff is and see that it's beneficial, it doesn't, it's not going to take a class to do it. These little options up here is going to show whether you're online or offline, and you can sync your information. This will work offline. If you are out in the field in your pickup and you're doing your checks and you're somewhere where there's no cell service, which here in North Dakota and Montana, there are plenty of those areas, you can go into your app and still do all of this information and it will save it. As soon as it gets back to the internet, it will sync it all up. And you can force it to sync. See, it's syncing data. If there was anything new, it's going to see that information and it's automatically going to pull it up here. So, I mean, that's worth having. You don't have to be like, oh, well, if I've got this app on my phone and I'm logging this information, well, what's going to happen to it if I run out of cell service? Is it going to work if I don't have cell service? Yes, it is. It's going to work if you don't have cell service. It's going to track all the same information. It's going to do all the same things. The only thing you're not going to have, and it's kind of a given, is your map isn't going to want to do map things if you don't have cell service because it's not going to know where you're at. So, but as soon as you get there, it's going to show you where they've moved to. It's going to keep the system's keeping track of what these cows are doing on the farm. It's not waiting for you to have cell service to do it. Yeah, and once again, this is just a breakdown. Shows our heifer calves, and you can come in here and select it. If they had a 701 tag, That number would be displayed here. You can name your cows. Obviously, we have ours named. The color, the breed, the type. You input the date they were born. So and this information right here is automatically input. This is all, you'll see this is all kind of just a blanket statement here. Uh, when you have a calf, it's automatically going to put that information in there because you're obviously you're going to list the date that it's born. So choose from season, new season, and put it seasoning, calving, breed start date. So my cows are all exposed to the bull at all times, just because that's the situation we're in right now. Most guys they separate. The cows are only exposed to the bull from a couple month period, so that they can force the calving in a specific window that they want, and that's kind of where this information comes in. We're gonna get to that point so that we have that information. It's just the situation we're in right now. We're not too worried about it. The only one who Manny's really showed any interest of doing anything with is Mama. So the other ones are still too young. Mom's tag number. Right? And then you put calf's tag number in there, and it's going to show the date as this. So that's automatically going to input that information so their age is actively tracked. If you purchase a new cow or you get another cow, you can add their information in here. See, it's estimated years or the date of birth if you have it. If you're buying a cow, more likely you're not going to know. Unless you have somebody else who has 701X and they know, yep, that cow was born at this date at this time, and they can give you that information. Tag number, where they're going to be. I only have the one, male, female. Let's go. Let's take a look at Manny. So if you pull up the information here on your animal, right? So we went into menu, animal list, shows us all of them. I want to view Manny's information. It's going to show me his cat. The general description of him, the date that he entered, our possession, where he's at, his health score, his current weight. His current weight is not 44 pounds. Once again, this is just me tinkering around with stuff. The purchase price, if you purchase just the bull. Timeline of anything that's been done with him, transferred in, score updates, his lineage. So obviously I don't have any of his parents' info or grandparents' info, but if he did, it would be in here. And when he has offspring, it will get shown in here. His turnouts, you can see breeding season start date, input any notes, if you need to upload any files, so anything that doesn't get in here, or if you want to upload any hard copies of anything, you can put that in here. Some important things to know on this screen is if you have an EID tag, some tattoo information, the name, you have the animal color, the breed. If you're running crosses, you have the ability to show how much they are of what. So I could add another breed in here, but Manny's 100% Scottish Highland, so we're not worried about it. Obviously, when I select female, it's cow, male to bull. Description. If you want to put any indicators in there or anything like that, you can. The tag color, this is all just good tracking information for you to have. Where is the tag located at? Is it left ear, right ear? His color is horn type, so he is horned. Horn size, huge is going to be if you're running longhorn cows. So Manny's probably about, we'll say large, because he's got a good size head on him right now. So this is just some general quick information to put on here, and you can see his 701X tag and the date that I assigned it to him. If he had an EID tag, I know there's a few guys who are running EID tags because there's systems that will automatically track it. That's a whole other thing. That's not per se 701X related. It's just kind of a good cattle knowledge type of thing. But you can put that in there. It's going to show the assigned date. Yeah, so save that information. Oh, excuse me. And it's going to track all of that. I can go in here and do the same thing with my calves, or lineage, their offspring, the breeding notes, change them, their tag number, names, all that information. So this is just I say quick, it's probably a lot longer than I think it is. But this is 701X. This is what they're doing. The mobile version of the apps is very easy to navigate, very user friendly. Like I said, reach out to the guys and gals over at 701X. They're a great group of people. Check out their website, give them a little run through, talk with them if you have any questions. Obviously, if you want to ask me questions, I will do my best to answer the questions. But if you want the best answer, ask them. Very friendly to talk to. Don't be scared to talk to them. Most ranchers aren't scared to talk to a lot of people anyway, but don't let avoiding that phone call be the determination that keeps you from getting into this program, because it's very beneficial. They're not going to share your information with anybody, right? So I know there's some people who are like, well, what if somebody goes in and tracks this, tracks that, they know what I've got and doing what. 701X isn't concerned about that. Their concern is helping you out as a customer. And on that respect, say you're out there in one of those thousands of acres facilities, right? And you're trying to keep track of it, and somebody comes in and, God forbid, they take a cow or your bull. Guess what? It's going to track it. Then the likelihood of them knowing what that tag does, it's possible, right? Because the Pro Tag has a Bluetooth, or not Bluetooth, it has a solar panel on it to keep the tag charged up. So they might know and they'll cut it off. But when they cut it off, it's going to show where it was cut off. They're not cutting it off here in my yard. They're going to go hundreds and hundreds of, they're going to go down the road a long, long ways. And I'm going to have a general idea of where they were headed when it happened. Or it's going to get cut off when they get to where they're going. So that's going to help you out in that aspect. You get a hold of your Stockmen's Association, your law enforcement, say, hey, this tag, nowhere near where it should be. And I know for a fact that as big as my bull is, he did not run 70 miles an hour down the highway. So, yeah, it's all useful information. It's all very useful information and stuff that you want to keep track of, and it keeps it in one spot. I can't say enough good about these guys. I stumbled across them looking for paper logs and found it very interesting. And since I've been using it, and like I said, I'm not using it in the aspect that I'm going to be in its full use, and I'm already loving it because I can track all of this information. I don't have to go, well, he was brought here this date, I spent this. I have it. I don't have to worry about keeping 7 different little notepads around to track what vaccinations I gave when and how much and what all they did. When did I brand them? Did I brand them the same day as I vaccinated them? When did I castrate them? When did I do this? I can track all of that information through here. So, please feel free to check them out. So this video was all about the 701X guys. I'm going to put their link in the description of this video, and so you can follow it there. And then when I share this on Facebook, I will tag them in it So feel free to go check out their Facebook page, their website. They do have some videos on YouTube, kind of talking about why they do what they do. If you are so inclined to subscribe to our channel, it could potentially benefit us later on in life. You know, the more subscribers you get, the more views you get, and watching content. At some point, there is a line that you break through with monetary value. We're not shooting to get there, but it wouldn't hurt the operation uh, in that aspect. We're gonna try and do something like this, something similar to this, hopefully with the crew over at Copperhead Horse Rescue, so they can kind of tell you what they're doing and why it's important to them and some of the benefits of that. Um, Probably do some more videos similar to this, some more stuff out in the yard and cleaning up and taking pictures and whatnot. Uh, but yeah, so I hope you all have a wonderful day. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on Facebook or email. All of our information is on there. Have a good night.